All right, so what's up, guys? So we are out here on another run, out here doing this craziness for all you guys to simply sit back, watch, admire, and enjoy. As we had someone, I don't know if they were yelling, screeching, or they were okay, but it's all good. We carry on. You know why, right? Because we're motivated, right? We want to do what it is we have to be successful, right? See those gains and, you know, make our way onward. So essentially for you, unfortunately, you may not feel the same way, right? You may lack motivation, and I would say that everybody does from time to time. I suffer from this, my best friend suffers from this. I know pretty much everybody does, right? People may not want to admit it or even be aware that this happens, right? Even worse problem, but it's still there. So in actuality, we have to think about our motivation, right? Staying motivated, not being in those ruts. And you know, for you, we're going to be giving you 4 reasons why you may not be motivated. So scary thought, such a scary one. And essentially what this boils down to is those 4 reasons. And reason 1 why you may not be motivated is because you lack purpose, right? That thing or reason that drives us to our destiny, right? You're gonna be a doctor. Okay, why do you want to become a doctor, right? Is it to make a lot of money, right? To take care of people? Or is it like something complex, right? You're trying to overcome a childhood, you know, that you felt wasn't adequate, right? You want to be an intellectual person, right? Of great merit. So therefore, then you go to school for all these years, study, get your degree, and then you are a doctor. But you know, you may have been going after it for all the wrong reasons, right? Which can lead to those horrible things called midlife crises, right? And you know, even quitting halfway through your dream, right? You might not even reach the end goal of becoming a doctor. But we would say that when you have purpose, your goal extends way beyond that, way, you know, beyond even after your career ends, and even after you are gone, right? No longer here on this earth. And that's going to require some deep thinking, right? So many of the greatest philosophers and deep thinkers, right? Rene Descartes, for one example, would sit in a room alone and just think, right? He was even mocked and ridiculed by his friends, you know, for doing so, right? They would ask him, why is he sitting in his room doing nothing? And in their eyes, it was just that. He wasn't doing anything but wasting time. But in reality, he was probably doing something more effective than they were, right? He was doing that deep soul searching, right? Asking those troubling questions about life, right? That's something that is a seemingly endless endeavor, but you can get wrapped up in it, right? It's so vast and complicated. But I would say that all you have to do is scratch the surface of it, right? As far as what you're doing and your career is concerned, right? So why do you want to do it, right? Get that career, right, on a deeper level. And essentially figuring that out and having that answer is going to drive you, right? Give you that purpose that you need to keep going and moving and advancing and having, you know, a great state of mind, right? Beyond just being happy from time to time, right? You got a promotion, so you're happy. Yeah, but what about the time, you know, between the next promotion that you get? Or what if you're fired? But you gotta figure out how to handle all these different scenarios. And that is tip number 2. Why you may not be motivated is because you're letting failure get to your head, right? It's a natural part of life. We are humans. we fail. Not everything is supposed to be perfect. And for that reason, just like how we dropped it, we essentially have to get ourselves like we did, pick it back up and keep going, right? It's not the end of the world, only if you make it to be so. And unfortunately for many people, they do that to themselves, right? They're their own worst enemy, right? When they lose, you know, in a particular outcome, they would lose again in their motivation. And when they're not motivated, they're gonna stop pursuing their dreams, stop working on themselves, taking the necessary steps to advance in life, right? To keep going and going, right? Life is a race. You have to keep running and running and running. And whether you like it or not, we are all going to reach the finish line, right? When you die. And how, you know, it doesn't really matter whether or not that happens, because it's going to happen regardless. You have no control over it. But most important part of life is the journey to the finish line. And what you do, right? How fast you're running. Is there a smile on your face, right? Are you thinking about overcoming, you know, your past, right? Overcoming, you know, feeling inadequate, right? What kind of person you're becoming, you know, throughout the destination, right? Not so much about, you know, hitting the finish line, right? So many people just want it to be over. They just want to retire. They want to finish. And even if you see in the greatest, I would say, successful entrepreneurs, right? Influencers and so forth, they love what they do, right? You don't have to force them to do anything that they're doing for their career, right? Essentially, right? They wake up and do it with a smile on their face, right? At least most of them, right? No one's forcing Warren Buffett to work at 80 something years old. And you know, that's step number 3, is to actually love what you're doing. And because if Warren Buffett didn't love to go to work, he wouldn't be out there, right? He would just take his billions and stop working. But he might have tried that already, and it didn't seem like enough, right? He might have stopped for a couple months and said, hey, I have to go back to work. I don't feel right. I have the potential to keep improving, and realizing the potential gains, you know, within my life and inspiring other people, right? Those might be his passions that he has, his purposes. And, you know, essentially, guess what he's doing? Say, he's still working, right? However many billions he has doesn't really matter. Only the fact that he's working, right? The success has already been reached. So if you're thinking so much about when to finish, right? When am I going to get my degree? When am I going to get a promotion, a vacation? Stop, right? Really question if you're doing the right thing. Doesn't matter how old you are. If you have to make a change, make it, right? That's tip number 4. Don't be afraid, you know, to, do different things in your life, right? You don't have to listen, to so many people influencing you, right? Family members, close friends of yours, right? They may doubt, and you may have mentioned to them what you're truly passionate about. And unfortunately, they might have doubted you, told you that it was hard or was impossible, right? That you can't do it. But reality, it doesn't really matter if you actually reach success in those areas. What matters is that you're doing what you love, regardless of whether you make it or not. Look at all these successful celebrities, right? The rappers, actors, entrepreneurs, a lot of them love the process so much. It doesn't really matter to them, how much success, money, fans, right, that they accumulate. They love what they do, and they can do it for hours and hours, right? Just the fact that they're getting the recognition and, the accolades that they're getting is great. Okay, fine, awesome, but it's not everything to them. And when you're not feeling that way about what you are doing, you can chase those accolades. That's what you are passionate about. And guess what? Those accolades are fleeting, right? You're not gonna have them forever. You're gonna mess up, screw up, and have to deal with that. All you're gonna have to deal with at any given moment, you can be sure on it, is your work ethic, what you're doing right now to advance. So those are the 4 reasons why you may not be motivated. As always, we say thank you very much and goodbye.